retirement homes, the places where grannies and grandpas go when they get a little bit too old and wild. Well, in today's video, I thought we would bring retirement to Bloxburg. You know, I've been working so long and hard at fast food work. I am an old granny. I actually think I look like a fashionista. So we'll name it Reese's Rescue Retirement. Let's do this! So on screen now is the pictures of retirement homes. They look all right, but I'm more thinking of making mine like a mansion that has been converted into a retirement home. So as you can see, it's gonna be pretty big from the front, and it's also gonna be pretty long on the sides as well, because I looked it up. What do retirement homes have in them? Hairdressers, health suites, gym, spas, restaurants, bistros. Is this a retirement home or is it a mall? Are grandparents secretly living luxury lives in these retirement homes? But yes, the eager eye among you may notice that I've actually not put a final wall here. That's because I'm thinking about having a courtyard. Yes, when you're old, it's gonna be very important to get out there.
Everything in nature ran on this. Fresh air.
And personally, I think 2 stories is good enough.
12 seconds later.
But then part of me wants it to have high ceilings. So maybe we should make it 3 stories high. So do not get me wrong, these floors are just very rough outlines, but the 3rd floor is gonna be all entirely bedrooms, basically hotel suites, because this is gonna be very fancy. As for the 2nd floor, we're gonna have like the doctor's office and maybe like a therapy office or something. And then on the ground floor, we're gonna have like the spa, the gym, and then these rooms here, as you can see, I've left these as 2 stories high. That's gonna be like a fancy restaurant. So I was planning on having these stairs, but I think like that is a bit far. But the thing is, I don't think it will fit with what I want to do, because I need to have them then go up this way. And as you can see, they are a little bit too big to be doing that.
Are you calling me fat?
But to be fair, these carpeted ones are not half bad. As always, I've made a million mistakes and we're only 2 seconds in. So here we go, guys. This is like the rough outline for the stairs. So next up, we need to pick the railing. And personally, I really want these. I know these are sort of like outdoorsy ones, but I make the rules now. But I was thinking, why not add this nice swirl? Make it a little bit more red. Damon Salvatore vibes.
Hello, brother.
I'm gonna go ahead and add a basic shape. And there we go. The staircase doesn't just look like a stupid blob now. Now, old people are a little bit wobbly when they're walking.
I've fallen.
So I'm gonna make sure to put many, many banisters on here. You are not allowed to walk up these stairs on your own if you're over the age of 80, okay? As for our doors, I also want these to be very fancy. And I've got to be honest with you guys, I'm feeling really hyped about this build today. Like, you wouldn't think a retirement home could be so exciting. And you know what? Scrap the panel doors. We're going traditional. Next up, let's go ahead and holy moly mother. Right, we're gonna have to re-enter so that the walls aren't all stuck together like glue. And we're gonna be popping in this striped wallpaper because old people are so fancy and they have like the fanciest houses. So obviously I want to make them feel at home here, and to make it even more posho, we're going to put some more panels along the bottom. Oh, that looks so preppy. And I can't lie, I'm loving how this looks so far. So I'm very happy we decided to make this a courtyard because it means we can have big dada windows here. So actually, get rid of that one. We're going to be using a factory. Now, what are we thinking? Black or white? I'm thinking black because we got so much white going on in here. And the best part about these, we can continue them all the way down to the ground. It's time for the chandelier. Okay, I think that might be a little bit low. You might like knock yourself out on that. I'm gonna try and make this room look a little bit more full up by just adding like these little extra balconies here. There's not really gonna be much on there. Oh, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. So I'm just gonna be adding in the final touches, adding these traditional beams. Although not gonna lie, they can be a little bit fiddly. But now since it's such a grand room, like literally the king could retire here and he'd be happy. But such a grand room does need a grand floor to match it. So I'm gonna be doing 3 rings of marble. And basically each time I go in, it's just gonna get a shade darker. And I'm really liking these frame doors, guys. I think I'm actually gonna have them go into the... Sorry? What is going on? What is going on? Glitchison over here. Anyway, there we go. We've now got the doors in, looking nice and luxurious. So before we can actually add the decor in, we haven't even done the outside. So I definitely am gonna be making use of these triangular roofs. And I think because it's 3 stories high, put it into proportion, we're gonna have to make the roofs quite high as well. So of course we're gonna pop that in on both sides because I like my build to be equals pequals. As for the roof, when I was building my Mediterranean house, I discovered the hip roof. So if we place this in manually, oh my gosh, look at it. And the best part about this is you can actually drag it out quite far. And there we go. It's looking a bit plain at the moment.
Where's the flavor?
As Gen Alpha would say, just let it cook, guys. Let it cook for a second. So the first way we're going to need to help this exterior is by adding in some pillars. And as I said, I was thinking we could have like a grand driveway here. And what's grander than 2 gigantic pillars holding up the front? Next up, we've got the side pillars. And as you guys well know by now, I don't actually put them in the corner because otherwise it pokes through. I actually put them just next to the building. It looks just as good. And that way it doesn't stick into your build, making everything like all... The thing that we need to do now is adding in the coloring. And you guys might be a little bit perplexed by what I'm doing here. You might be thinking, Reese's linen bricks. But look what I'm doing up here, guys. We're making it sort of like a drumstick where the bottom layers are slightly different from the top layers. And you'll see why I'm doing that in just a minute. And already, this is looking like a care home. Oh my goodness, grandkids, please get me a space here. And basically, I'm just trying to put off doing the windows because I actually dread to think how much they're going to cost. And to remind the grandparents of the era that they're from, I'm going to add some Tudor roofs. No, sorry, I'm not trying to roast the grannies. I actually love grannies. I'm not joking, they're my favorite people. I ran into one when I was in the shop the other day. I was buying some things for a picnic with me and my friends. And I started having a whole conversation with this old lady. She was like, looks like you're having a nice get together later. And she was probably really proud of me, you know, having a picnic, going outside, not just sitting on a computer all day. Little does she know I play BLOXBURG every day for 3 hours. But here we go, guys. This is like the rough outline of the care home. And basically the final step of the actual building is going to be the windows. But before we do that, I guess we should quickly plan like the bedroom layout. So this here is obviously going to be like the hallway. And I'm thinking that the end ones should be like the master suite. And then here can just be like the bog standard rooms. And I think 6 bedrooms is pretty good for our retirement home. It's very exclusive, okay, guys? Now, as for the windows, I know exactly what I'm doing. But like I say, I'm actually terrified. So we're going to be making 2 different variants of these factory windows. We're going to be having a fat one and a thin one, basically, to put it simple. Outlining the window in beams. It's so simple, but so effective. And you must remember, guys, to do both sides. Otherwise, it looks terrible from the interior. Now, I don't want to be that person who adds too many windows.
It's a little too late.
So maybe we should slow down a little bit over here. I guess I'll just put them wherever I want for now, and then we all just look at the end and hope for the best. And honestly, guys, I don't think that looks too bad. It definitely looks a bit crowded, but I have a trick up my sleeve. Yes, these beams are basically the start of the show today. So these walls here are really what's messing me up. So I'm thinking if I add like a cool beam pattern around the windows, it could help us. And I'm going to be trying to tie it in, remember, to that Tudor pattern. Ooh! Right, get out of it, old wall trims. You're going to the gutter. I've got a new bestie.
12 seconds later.
And well, not going to lie, it's not going as swimmingly, easily on this side, but I'm trying my best. But guys, I really, really like that. And a final idea I had to tie everything in together all cutely was to make these top shutters green. So we're obviously going to do the car park and like the front driveway at some point. We now need to head inside and see. This is exactly what I was afraid of.
This is exactly what I was afraid of.
Pitch blackness. Also, I did not realize that these would like stick through. So if you could very kindly exit my building, that would be very helpful. Now, as for the lighting, I want to be next level fancy. So I'm going to make a copy and pastable panel. You heard me correctly. I've done this before and it worked amazingly. Basically, you get a little sheet about this big and then you color it plain white, or I guess in this case we need it to be stripy. Finally, you just outline the basic shape and make it look like a panel. And honestly, I really like that dark brown vibe. Like, part of me actually wants to make these panels brown. So I popped a few of these around just to light it up. And now that I've got all these lights in, making the room bright, I thought also we could use with some grand pillars. And how cozy. We are going to have to do, though, a little bit of trickery. As always, it wouldn't be a true Reese's build without trickery, would it? So we're going to pop these lights in here, obviously painting them the linen. Then we'll move these steps out the way and we'll pop 2 of these underneath the stairs. And I don't want to bore you with any more entryway content. So I basically just added like the most granny looking furniture I could find. Also, I don't want my grannies to run out of oxygen.
What?
The reason they would have moved here is so that they can live longer and live happily. So we're going to make sure we add lots of plants for oxygen. And once again, just some fancy style seating. I've added in some structural beams. I also added them on the top. They look a little bit better on this top roof. But finally, guys, that is the main room done. Shall we head into the dining room? So the wallpaper in this room is going to be even fancier. It's going to be a flint tile. Ooh, very vampire. And what I'm most excited for about here is the windows. And I forgot about the back. Not me exposing the back of this house. But the reason I didn't do the windows, that was actually intentional. That's because we're going to basically be doing these 2-layer ones again. There's no need to even make new ones. We got them right here, baby. And I have just had the thought to actually make this a feature wall over here. Otherwise, I feel like it's just going to look all unequals, pequals. So let's call up Sia again and get her to give us some... And there we go, we can now actually see what the hell is going on in here. So once again, we're going to be putting marble in, and then we're going to be popping some planks in the middle because, of course, this is going to be the dining room. Basically, if you don't know what I'm really meaning here, if you've ever been to a hotel or on holiday or anything, you know, like the breakfast rooms like this, that is basically what they also have in retirement homes. So it's like a sense of community. And honestly, this sounds all right to me. A buffet every morning. Honestly, anything with food there, invite me, guys, and I'll be right there. Speaking of food, can you let me know in the comments what your favorite food is? That seems like such an NPC thing to ask, but seriously, I love hearing it. But anyway, over here's like the juices. We've obviously got our buffet tables, and oh my gosh! That is such a good idea, having a piano at the end. We can hire, like, Mozart. Oh, wait. Didn't Mozart die, like, 200 years ago? Anyway, we can have, like, a really famous pianist. And do you know what I think would look amazing in here? Like, old paintings. I'll add a couple of different sizes. And, oh, it's going to take me a while to get there. How wonderful, guys. I've decided to make it, like, kind of Roblox themed. So I've got, like, a lot of paintings. And, wow, I look very squished there. This should be a little bit thinner. And another thing I think can make them feel like quite at home is just some like string light. That gives a sense of coziness, right? And just because I'm actually mentally unstable, I think I'm gonna add a balcony up here. You're not gonna be able to get up here from literally anywhere, but I just thought it kind of looks cool. So finally, it's time to put the event tables in, and I'm not actually gonna use the event tables, which is weird. I'm going to use the festive table with the event chairs because I feel like having 8 people at a breakfast table, that's a bit much.
Oh, what? People.
Like, Marjorie, she don't want to be speaking to that many people in the morning, does she? So that is the dining room done. I kind of want to do the back and front garden now. And the back garden's basically just going to be like a little tennis court as a way for them to get some outdoorsy exercise. It's not going to be that big. We don't want them running around too much. And then we'll also add some social areas out here. And for those people who don't want to play tennis, I thought it'd be quite thoughtful to add like a little garden at the back. It looks very nice, doesn't it? This actually does look really cozy and cute. Then as we flop around to the front garden, we've then got to add the driveway in. So I'm going to make damn sure that I use a piece of concrete here before I forget, because I only want the road to be too wide. But anyway, these are where our car parks are going to be going, and I'm going to pop this concrete around the outline. And I don't know about you guys, but this area here is not only screaming for a little pond, it's also screaming for a garden fountain, and not just any garden fountain, the biggest, bestest one BLOXBURG has to offer. Although I have made a little bit of an oopsie daisy in the fact because I didn't actually add any like pathways. Now, a fact you might not know is retirement homes are actually expensive as hell. I learned about this in sociology at school, but I think it can be something like 2,000 to 3,000 a month. So if you're putting your family in a retirement home, you've got to be pretty rich. So I'm going to be making sure to add rich cars here. Although I might make my prices a little bit cheap, you know, I want everyone to live here. And somebody pointed out something to me the other day, which is so obvious, but I've been missing it this whole time. When I do my front plants, I can actually put trees in here. Like, that is such a simple but effective way to just really enhance shrubberies. And you guys know me, I absolutely love just putting cherry blossom trees. I feel like it just adds that extra level of privacy. But old people eat so many biscuits. Like, it is like they are just genetically wired to eat biscuits all day. So we are going to be needing a lot of trash to put all of those biscuit wrappers in. So that is the exterior done. We'll be able to look at it very, very soon once we tour. But we do still have a fair amount of rooms left to do. The first one being the spa. Now, I originally said the spa was going to be one of the 1-story rooms. But I actually think it should be a 2-story room. Like, that way we can have a water slide. Okay, maybe we shouldn't have a water slide. started in an old people's home. And I've just realized I only have 150 grand left. So I'm actually gonna need to like stop spending so much. And I'm not only making it a shallow pool because we're low-key broke right now, I'm also making it a shallow pool because you don't want to throw some old bag of bones into the deep end. And you know what? I might make the spa's ceiling look like the night sky. So I can never remember what the blimmin' texture is called. Speckled rubber, that's it. And oh my gosh, it literally looks like we're in like one of those Rolls Royces now with like the star ceiling. And actually, I saw something on TikTok. Apparently, you can use the glow flies. What are they called? Fireflies. You can like use these as a night sky. This literally sparkles in the sky. That's magical. Honestly, I don't remember the last spa I made that was this good. We should also be putting a jacuzzi at the back. And I've come to the conclusion I do not like this one here. I much prefer the $840 one. So I'm going to add one of them there. And there we have it, guys. This is the retirement spa. So we then decided that we need a gym. Anyway, we're going to start off by popping in our wall of mirrors. So we're going to have like a ballet class in here. I've put a ballet pole along the wall for them. And once again, we're keeping that grand vibe. We're going to add some pillars and like a Zen blob. I don't know what this is actually called. Over in this part is going to be for the angry grannies.
Order the damn food!
Who are furious at their family for locking them away in a care home. And they are going to take all the anger out on these beating machines. Over here is going to be for the buff people.
12 seconds later.
And there we go. That is our gym. It's pretty dandy. Handy dandy. And well, we can have this as a nurse's office. Ooh. And, oh. Ow. I just smashed my leg. I'm going to need to go to a nurse's office in a minute. So I think along this back wall here is going to be the cabinets. Now, I am going to add a fridge. Don't worry, it's not for the food. I'm pretty sure, though, some medicine needs to be stored in fridges. Then you can pop the patient into a gown. So next up, we are going to be getting what once was a luxury lounger. And now, sadly, is going to be the examination chairs. And then over here is going to be like the surgery table. Personally, I actually think like this looks a bit like a surgery thing. And if you're wondering what I'm doing here, I'm basically doing like a 2021 building hack. Whenever anyone would build hospitals, they just put this lamp over a chair like that and be done with it. We've obviously got that iconic blue, and this is just going to be to offer some privacy between the patients. And oh, sugar plums, I forgot we have rooms here. I guess these could be like the communal rooms and listening to like some ambient piano music. And rather than having big coffee tables, we're actually just going to use end tables. And how cute would it be if they're like playing card games on here? There's some comfy sofas. You basically just get to chit chat with your friends. And holy mother of pearl! I just looked at my money, 18,000. We got 6 bedrooms to do. But you know what? I'm not actually that mad about it because I normally just copy and paste my bedrooms anyway. So we'll just make one really fancy bedroom where a granny and a grandpa can get some alone time.
Criminal offensive side.
But with that, guys, the care home is done.
It's time for me to be sent away.
Alrighty, chickens. Here I am at the gateway of Reese's Rescue Retirement. This got valued at $875,000, so it's actually quite an expensive build. I mean, we've got windows going from ceiling to floor. It's a little overwhelming. So let's hobble our way in, and this is where we would be dropped off. We'd be sat in the back probably like, oh, honey, please don't leave me here. That is not how it happened. We'd be desperate. We'd be running in. We suddenly regain our legs. It's giving Tudor Palace. You are just so comfortable already. So there's several ways to go. You can either go straight up the stairs or you can go visit all the rooms. Now, I want to personally look at the worst bits first. One day, I might add a bunch of extra things, but this is essentially the gist of the bedroom. And as we know, there are 6 in total. You can go up this way, you can go up that way. Now, the only room on the 2nd floor is the entertainment room, like the games room. And to be fair, this turned out pretty nice. You can flex at your level 10 on all of your skills, except athletic. But that's okay because we have a blimmin' gym. Yes, guys, this is probably the last thing you'd be expecting to see in a care home. My face just went through metal. And I don't think it's really safe to take a Zimmer frame on a treadmill. So maybe don't do that. Oh! I've taken a terrible tumble. Then you'll be sent to the doctor's office where you'll put on your hospital gown. Oh yes, lay me down, doctor. Oh, it's just a little bruise. Oh, that's perfect. But if it was worse, then you could have surgery. And there's obviously room for more than one patient in here. And then all the cabinets as well. If you want a breath of fresh air after your treatment, you can come into the beautiful courtyard. And oh! Look at this! Did you see I got a whole ladder? That was awesome. I got some sunflowers. Oh my gosh, I'm smelling them. Sometimes I forget like planting is a thing in BLOXBURG. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, since we're already in my spa outfit, let's dive head first. Oh no, I broke my legs. Back to the infirmary we go. But no, the spa is basically just a place of peace and relaxation where you can chill again, just with your friends. It's about making a community. And finally, we have the dining room, probably my favorite room in the whole gaff. This is where you can stuff your face with all of the appetizers that we have here. Hopefully you guys like this video. It's something a little bit different. I hope you had a fun time watching it. I'd have definitely had a fun time making it. And I'll see you all in the next one.